at one point in the game, I throw a ball, Jerry's wide open, Rice, on my left, and I throw the ball like way over his head. And he came back looking at me like, what the heck kind of throw is that?
Just a bit outside.
Hi, I'm Joe Montana, four-time Super Bowl champ, NFL Hall of Famer. And I'm going to share with you what I ate during my career before some of my biggest games and what I eat nowadays.
Going back to pass on 3rd and 10 Montana. Caught by Craig on the way to the end zone. And Craig goes in for the score. Super Bowl 19 is in the record book. The 49ers have won it.
During the season, wasn't a big breakfast person originally, so not a lot for breakfast, but more so sandwiches for lunch. And then when I got home, just about whatever Jennifer would make. Jennifer is my wife. She does all the really good cooking. I do all the burning the stuff on the grill. Jennifer is a very, very healthy eater, so I get drugged into that a lot. You know, it's always making sure I'm getting my greens and getting my vegetables. But I think the biggest thing is portion control for me is at this time in my life. The teammate that had the strangest diet, I won't say strange, but it was probably the most healthy, was Roger Craig. He was always eating proteins and protein drinks and any kind of energy thing that he could get his hands on. He was in great shape and, probably paid off for him because even today, he's still running marathons. Guilty pleasures with food, probably two, cheeseburgers and pizza. Jennifer, again, my wife, makes an awesome homemade pizza. Well, the favorite spot during the season for me was our owner, Mr. DeBarlo's box. Right after the game, the security guard knew I didn't eat very much, so he would bring me a double cheeseburger, and they were the best cheeseburgers anywhere. Well, I'm sure what the athletes eat today is a lot different than what we ate because we didn't have a kitchen, full-blown kitchen, and chefs in our facility. Today, almost every team has their own facility, and so they can kind of control. And I'm sure the things that they're being fed really are more performance-oriented. I think every athlete, whether they want to be vegan or not, or what they determine to be, needs to find what works best for their bodies, as everybody's body is different. I think that it's an individual decision for athletes to go find what works best for them. But when I got to Kansas City, this really slowed me down a lot because Derek Thomas, one of our defensive linebackers, a defensive end, he had a real good friend who ran a soul food kitchen. And she told Derek that I was too skinny. So every morning I got a plate, and not only did I love it, but my linemen loved it because it had grits, home fries, eggs, 2 fried pork chops, bacon. I can't remember what else. It was the biggest thing you've ever seen. And the sad part is it was really good. But if I didn't get to it right away for what I wanted, the linemen would just tear it apart. Well, what I ate before a game probably wasn't the best thing, but I'd read back then that, if your stomach was less full but yet had enough food in there to keep you from or give you enough energy. As soon as I got up, I went to the training table in the morning. I would grab like a small head fillets. I would eat either a small fillet or half of one, and then take 2 Snicker bars in my bag for halftime or whenever I needed a little boost. So in the Super Bowl 23, I'll say, because that's the one I remember the most.
In a little more than 2 hours, San Francisco and Cincinnati will tee it up for Super Bowl 23.
It was a night game. And so I'd eaten the steak like I had mentioned before. But the problem was, it was a long way before the game started. So I was supplementing it with, Roger Craig had this ginseng mix that he believed in, gave him energy. So I was taking a couple of those during the day just to kind of keep my stomach kind of there. And I might have even had a Snickers early because it was so long in between. And the problem was when we go downward to make the last drive, and at one point in the game, I throw a ball, Jerry's wide open, Rice, on my left, and I throw the ball like way over his head. And he came back looking at me like, what the heck kind of throw was that? I almost blacked out. And I know it was just from lack of energy. The excitement of the game, and I'm screaming at the top of my voice because the stadium was so loud. I started to get that fuzzy look in your face. Felt like I sat there for a long time, but it wasn't very long, and it started to go away. And so I snapped the ball, and I took 2 or 3 steps back, and it started to come back. So I hit my last step, and I just threw it as far as I could out of bounds because I couldn't see. So I don't think it was the best thing that I did for that game, but decided I should probably eat a little bit more. I pretty much like all food. There's only a few things that I don't like. I'm an anchovy nut. I love anchovies. It's so funny because our little granddaughter, she's just turned 2. She loves anchovies now too. I could never see them. I mean, she eats them like cheese and asks for them. She's got the good gene going there. One of my other favorite things I've been eating a lot because we've been getting a lot of sushi is uni. I didn't like uni at first, but wow, now I go there and it's the first thing I order. I would tell young athletes today is make sure you're eating a rounded diet. And if you're eating things like red meat or things that people say are not as good for you, it's a proportion control for me. Is, today we used to do, everybody wanted to supersize, and restaurants, my dad was the same way. Well, this restaurant's great. Well, why? Oh, you should see the plate. You get such a lot of food. I go, is it good? I don't know, but you get a lot of food and you get an extra Manhattan and you saw it. It's like, so, but I think a lot of it just becomes, just be aware of what you eat and what it does, how it makes you feel. And then you can start to try to adjust like that. But I think if you start off like my granddaughter, she eats everything, and my daughter just feeds her everything. Then if you start off that way, you'll find that you actually like a lot more foods that are better for you than others. Oh, I just want to say thank you for having me. Thanks to Delish. While y'all are here, you should check out Joe Montana Cool Under Pressure starting January 6th on the Peacock Network. See you, everyone. Have a great one.